If you are watching this right now, it's not random. It may look random, it may feel like just another video in your feed, but something inside you knows that this moment carries weight. Because there comes a point in life where everything on the surface continues to function, but internally, something begins to collapse. Not loudly, not dramatically, but silently. A quiet fracture forms between who you are and who you have been pretending to be. You continue your routines, you speak, you interact, you fulfill expectations, but there's a growing distance between you and your own life. It feels like you're present, but not fully alive. And that feeling is not weakness, it is awareness trying to break through. According to Carl Jung, this moment is not a breakdown, it is the beginning of individuation, a process where the unconscious mind refuses to stay buried any longer, a process where the parts of you that were ignored, suppressed, or rejected begin to demand attention. Most people never reach this stage because they distract themselves before it fully surfaces. They drown it in noise, in comfort, in endless consumption, because facing it would mean questioning everything they've built their identity on. But if you are here, if you are still watching, then something inside you has already decided not to. Because the truth is, you have been living inside a structure that was never fully yours. A life shaped by expectations, by fear, by the need to belong. From a young age, you were taught what is acceptable, what is safe, what is right. You learned to adjust yourself accordingly. You learned when to stay quiet, when to agree, when to hide parts of yourself that didn't fit. And slowly, without even noticing, you built a version of yourself that could survive, but not fully live. Jung called this the persona, the mask designed to function in society. And while it protects you, it also limits you, because everything that doesn't fit that mask gets pushed into the shadow. Your anger, your truth, your ambition, your intensity, your real voice. And here's what most people never understand. The shadow doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. It grows stronger. It begins to influence your life from the background. It shapes your reactions, your fears, your patterns. It creates that constant feeling that something is off, something is missing, something is not aligned. And no matter how much you try to fix your external life, that internal tension remains. Because the problem is not outside, it's within. This is why your life starts to feel heavy. Not because life itself is unbearable, but because you are carrying a version of yourself that is incomplete. A version that is constantly suppressing something real. And that suppression requires energy. A lot of it. Energy that could have been used to create, to grow, to evolve. Instead, it is used to maintain an illusion. And illusions always collapse. That discomfort you feel right now, that restlessness, that quiet dissatisfaction, that is the crack. The moment where the illusion starts breaking. And this is where everything can change. But only if you understand what is actually happening. Because most people don't. They misinterpret this moment. They think they are lost, confused, or broken. So they try to fix it quickly. They search for motivation, for discipline, for external solutions. But this is not something you fix. This is something you face. Because this is not a surface-level problem. This is an identity shift. Your mind begins to align with what you need. Your attention shifts, and suddenly the noise fades, and the signal becomes clear. But awareness alone is not enough. Because now comes the difficult part, action. There is always a gap between understanding something and changing your life because of it. And that gap is filled with fear. Fear of losing what you have, fear of stepping into something unknown, fear of becoming someone unfamiliar even to yourself. Because the moment you start letting go of the persona, you don't immediately know who you are without it. And that uncertainty feels dangerous. But here is the truth. The life you are afraid to step into is the one that is actually yours, and the life you are holding on to is the one that is slowly draining you. At some point, you have to stop negotiating with yourself. You have to stop delaying the inevitable. Because this moment, right here, is not random. It is a threshold, a line between who you have been and who you are capable of becoming. And crossing that line does not require certainty.
It requires honesty, because no one is coming to make this decision for you. No perfect moment will arrive, no external confirmation will suddenly appear. This is it, this feeling, this awareness, this quiet but persistent voice telling you that something needs to change. That voice is not confusion. That voice is truth. It is the part of you that has been waiting for you to stop running, waiting for you to stop pretending, waiting for you to finally turn around and face it. Because the version of you that you are afraid to become is not dangerous. It is not wrong. It is not something to avoid. It is the most honest version of you. And yes, becoming that version will cost you something. It may cost you comfort, approval, familiarity. It may change your relationships, your path, your identity. But what you gain is something far more valuable: freedom, clarity, alignment, and a life that actually feels like it belongs to you. So the question is no longer whether this video found you by accident. The real question is, now that it has found you, what are you going to do about it? Because this is the moment most people hesitate. And that hesitation is where they stay stuck. But you don't have to. Because on the other side of this fear is the life you were meant to live. And it begins the moment you decide to stop running from yourself.